What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Tupperware, ticker is TUP. Today it is finally showing some signs of life. So I want to go over some of the data points and where things potentially could go from here. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So currently up 21.34%. Did have a high of $3.18, low of $2.63. So a lot of volatility, but at the same time, a ton of volume. So 27.84 million shares being traded, 14 is the average. And of course, this kind of intraday level so far kind of matches with this right here. So currently between this S1 and the pivot, so $1.63 is the next big support range. And of course, vice versa, $3.22 is the next big resistance. And it kind of did bounce off of that. So I think it is getting very much primed and ready for a breakout, potentially, of course. When it comes down to the spread levels on this, it's kind of wide, so you do have to anticipate a lot of volatility. But based on everything and how much it has actually gone down, I do feel that there is a lot of good upside coming. But at the time of doing this video, there hasn't been any PR, no SEC filings, nothing like that to really justify for it to go up as much as it did today. I'll give you guys a quick overview of what shorts are doing. So currently, short score is currently 81. Utilization is 68.51%. And looking right here, shorts are currently increasing 107,000 shares. So kind of minor considering 8.91 million shares overall are being shorted, but still 22.08% of the free float being shorted is pretty significant, especially based on that last news that did come out, I believe, at the beginning of July, or beginning of August, about their whole debt restructuring. A lot of people downplay that, but that actually is a very, very good thing for at least its operations in the short term. But as it stands right now, they haven't actually had their earnings, so that's where I think a lot of gray is in the short term. Floating around, of course, but generally speaking, with shorts still very much ingrained in Tupperware, this could be a full-on squeeze, potentially, of course, depending on their earnings. That's just my own estimate, of course. And one thing I just wanted to share with you, which is, of course, kind of matches with what I previously did state about Tupperware, because I did initially say that based on just their operations, I do feel that the true intrinsic value should be around the $6 range. That's not even counting a squeeze, but based on the latest Morningstar report, which is showing right here, it does show the fair market value for Tupperware is $12.65. So once again, take that. That might mean something, might not mean anything. You guys do your own due diligence. On a side note, if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as this, analyst ratings, analyst forecasts, everything under the sun, take a look at Interactive Brokers, completely free to have all of this information. So click on the link, play around, it does have a lot of good information. But of course, when it comes down to the daily volume, normally there is 63.66% of all the volume being redirected off of the exchange to the dark pool. And that's where things get kind of sketchy. A lot of, I guess, potential malicious attacks could be occurring, especially if it's associated with shorts and stuff like that. But oddly enough, 69.61%, so a little bit higher than the norm, is being redirected off of the exchange, but yet it is up 20 or almost 21%. So clearly they are redirecting a lot of the selling. So kind of interesting stuff. Someone behind the scenes does want Tupperware to go up. But of course, that might mean something, might not mean anything. It just might be a short-term blip, but based on the technicals, like I said, if it does get past this $3.22, then big things potentially could come. As far as options activity, this is equally as optimistic. So $967,000 in calls being purchased versus $346,000 in puts. So based on this information, people are anticipating for it to trend up. And based on these outliers right here, I do anticipate, based on the dollar value, these being shorts, just hedging their bets. And as I've said in the past, shorts wouldn't really be hedging their bets if they didn't see upside potentially coming, at least in the short term. If you are optimistic though, this is all the calls, shows the strike prices, expiry dates, and it does kind of portray that it might be going between the $2.50 range to $4 range, at least in the short term, potentially by the following Friday. So once again, this is just more of a sentiment. It does not move the stock price by any means, so just be aware of that. As far as big transactions that have occurred so far on the secondary market, nothing really over $100,000 listed here. And as far as dark pool, nothing since the 17th. So a lot of smaller transactions. Clearly, enough so that, like I said, almost 70% of all the volume is being redirected off of the exchange, just a lot of smaller transactions. But I think that's kind of normal because we already do know that based on the latest round of 13Fs, a lot of institutions or bigger names aren't necessarily in Tupperware. So let me know you guys' thoughts on this in the comments below, and do you see Tupperware being a epic squeeze? And potentially, what's your viewpoint on their upcoming earnings as well? Do you think it's going to be home run earnings? Do you think it's just going to be a lot more optimistic, or the same old, same old? So what's your viewpoint on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, even though Tupperware is doing its own thing, up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of promos such as this, link in the description below and also the comments, completely free for an account. But if you do throw $100 at it, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock could be valued up to $2,000, and you also get a $50 cash reward. So this in among itself is one of the best deals out there. Link in the description below and also the comments. And this is only available for Americans, so just so you guys are aware. But 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗛 is actually heading to Canada, and so you can have access to their website and to the app. All you have to do is just sign up with your phone number. No other information is required whatsoever. And by signing up, you can have a chance to win either gift cards, Tim's, Amazon, plenty of other things. So link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a ton of money on Tupperware.